I got 120 points in the EU Victory Cash Cup, and this put me just below QUAL. So let's look at everything I did wrong, and hopefully we can help you in your solo Victory Cash Cups as well. So we start off this game 1 fight. I finished collecting a Doom coin and all that goes with it, and I hit this guy 70 as a starting tag. This is where I make a little bit of a mistake. A couple of mistakes actually. First, I take far too long to get to his boxes, fumbling some of my builds. I then pressure it with a gun instead of pressuring it with my pickaxe. You should pressure a little bit with your gun, but then in this kind of scenario when he has more than one box, always start pressuring with your pickaxe. You're just going to waste ammo, and you can see he's getting heals off while I'm popping my reload, and then I'm finally starting to pickaxe, but I was just taking a little bit too long with it. I'm not really getting in the right position fast enough, and the peaks I'm making aren't really that good. I can tell you at this point I'm pretty nervous. I do get pretty nervous during Victory Cash Cup, so if you do also let me know in the comment section. But I finally finished off this fight with a not so optimal peak, but that's not the problem. I can work on my peaks outside of the game, but instead of Victory Cash Cups, I'm definitely not at my best fighting ability in my opinion. So what went wrong in game 1? I'll tell you what went wrong in game 1. It's something a lot of things people make. I saw a player I didn't build straight away. I then chose to pop my heals for 40 health instead of boxing up straight away. This was the biggest mistake, and a mistake a lot of players make. If I'm ill today and sound ill, guys, I am, so sorry about that. But anyhow, I've healed before I box up. I then box up, and all my walls are super low, so this guy just gets in super fast and kills me off very quickly. In game 2, no joke, this is the biggest sell of all time. I am at cap 3 materials. I have armored walls, I have a gold AR, I have a gatekeeper, I have fizz, I have bigs, minis. I'm holding this guy in zone. I have a pad next to me. I'm on high ground. I take the pad, which is not an issue in itself. But then look at how many people are watching me right now. I have gone for the high ground here. Instead, I should have been aiming for way lower. I don't know why I went for the high ground. It was a really poor decision, and this has allowed me to get absolutely beamed by the entire lobby. What I should have done was to go slightly to the lower ground, really secure not the best position, but secure my life. Because this was a super dead game with not great players at all, and I've just thrown it just like that. Super quick before we move on to the next game, if you want to find it easier to find out how you're dying in solo Victory Cash Cups, or find it easier to get better and get coaching from the best players or the best coaches in the entire world, then consider signing up for Solo Superstars. You'll find it linked in the description, and it is run by Destiny Jesus, the old phase coach, and one of the best coaches in the entire world. See you there. I would say I have better rotations than the average player by about 100 miles, but occasionally once a game I'll make a super stupid decision, and more often than not it will punish me for it. I've rotated perfectly up until this point. I am by no means super stacked in terms of my heals, etc, but I am looking good. I pre-pop fizz here and it insta-go zone, because I know no one's going to be looking, they're all going to be looking at their maps, and it works. I get almost the entire way, but accidentally drop to low ground, which is my stupid decision of the day. Someone jumps in and I'm dead. If I just boxed up here instead of trying to go up, if I'd have just gone high ground instead when I meant to, instead of dropping an extra layer onto low ground, then I would have been perfect here. Just one mistake that has messed up a potentially perfect endgame. Jitters in a solo cash cup really affect a lot of people, including myself. I get way nervous during a solo cash cup and never during duo cash cups. This fight, however, I finished off super quickly after some jitters at the beginning, but someone else came in straight afterwards, and this was when I made the mistake that a lot of people do of not practicing their armored wall bind. Armored walls are super useful, and I really did not practice them at all, so I'm pretty poor at placing them. So when trying to place them, I'm a little bit lethargic, and therefore it really messed me up here, because I did go to place one and I wasn't keeping an eye on them, and I didn't have armored walls, so I just stood there like an idiot while he walked in. Honestly, normally this does happen as well when I do have armored walls. I take too long to place them, and this can allow people in my box. So always practice your armored wall bind, please. I bet you're sitting there wondering, scratching your head, how did this guy get 120 points? Where is the good game? And this is the good game, right here, right now. And this is kind of a interesting start, because it does start off with a really scuffed off spawn fight. I wasn't expecting this guy to push me so early. It was very unexpected, but I do manage to get the kill eventually. I came out of the building to farm extra mats, which does allow me to win this fight, and I eventually just spray through and get the kill. which he wasn't expecting, so lucky me. This endgame, I have to say, this game in general, I played absolutely perfect. I don't think there was a single thing I could have played better here, and I'm about to show you why. I pulled a completely max distance zone, so I followed the pads in a row outside of the zone, meaning that I can go fully around the edge of the map into dead side of zone. I then use my heals in zone so people can't see that I'm going to be in this game. I'm basically an invisible player, and this means that when I make it into zone, I've avoided all mid-game fights before I get pushed by this guy. We hit each other 80 off the bat, and it's kind of a little bit dodgy. We're on the edge of zone, and zone's about to pull, so I really don't want to fight this right now. So I do something that I've actually resorted to doing quite a little bit in solos, and it does not work out here, I have to say. I fizz a little bit and then instantly try to go to front a little bit so I can get a little bit ahead of zone. I build here in a second, and I'll do something interesting that probably is against rules, but I have never seen anyone be punished for it personally. I pickaxe swing, just so we can both get to zone safely. This is where you both kind of have an agreement not to shoot each other. You're like, please don't grief me, and I won't grief you. He kind of does it back, so I'm like, we're all chill. We're all chill. This guy does not honor his promise, and instantly shoots me. But it's all good, because I'm just a better player anyway, and we eventually do get this kill. One idiot pushing me on the side of zone when zone's actually popping. I don't know why he did this, and I'm not going to ask him. He's just kind of a random opens player, and opens players love to do this type of stuff. They just don't care about their life. And yeah, I'm glad I killed him because he deserved it. A couple of other people were a lot more chill about this in the later games. I had a guy that we did it twice, and it was actually really good. We both got rotated in with no griefing. I actually pulled half and half zone here, but instead of doing it and staying just where I was, I actually decided to move backwards into dead side. This is something that I decided because I had a feeling zone would pull over here. It turns out I was right. As soon as zone pulls after that, I'm instantly ready to go with the fizz. Always do this early, it's so good. Especially when it pulls dead side like it did here. There is one guy above this mountain, and I recognise it nice and early, and I pretty much only take 20 damage, I think. Maybe that's from the guy behind me. Either way, I'm in zone, I make a little space for myself. I only have to go a couple more boxes in before I'm in, so I actually build this meld to have a feeling it's going to pull back here. I don't know why, this game was based on a lot of feelings, but it does eventually work, trust me. It turns out I'm very right to trust this feeling because it does pull back, and I instantly, as soon as it's in zone, go back, reset the wall, and I'm in a base where I'm in a good spot. Now this is where the end game really lights up. Lights up as in terms of the strategy is amazing. I don't think I made a single mistake beyond this point. So what I do here is fizz, wait for this guy to box up, so he's going to heal. I just saw him get beamed, and I jump and just use 5 builds here. It's very small map wise, and it does get me in zone, and then I make a second jump while someone else is jumping, so they are also preoccupied. Everyone else are going to look at them and me at the same time, so I'm half as likely to get beamed. I then see someone above me. This is where the great refresh comes into play. I edit like this. I just spray up, I knock him out, I then reset the floor and edit him in, and he's dead. This is super good refresh, completely protected from all angles. There was no chance I get third parties here, and while I do fumble the fizzes, I eventually do get on with it. I come up here, I know I need to get up because it is kind of dodgy, and now I eventually realise it is pulling up the hill anyway, so I can just drop down. I'm trying to save my mats, even though I've got loads, but now I've got mats, I do need to go for height. So I've decided to go for height here, I go front side, and I decide to look up, because that is the best way to get height in solos, and the guy on height actually starts going in zone. I don't see it at first, it's kind of a little bit odd. You don't see many people do this play. I think he's just trying to get out extra placement because it is top 5. Maybe he has no mats left. But anyway, I cover my back because I don't want to give him a chance to kill me, and I eventually see him and finish him off, which is absolutely wonderful because now I've got height uncontested, and you will soon see that some games you don't even need to do anything on height. I basically play this out completely safely. I am being the complete safe height player. I just double layer because I've got so many mats, and I know that this game will not go to heal off or anything of the sort. So I'm just fully playing out my mats, double layering absolutely everything so I don't get chopped out. While I'm doing this, I'm also trying to grief everyone below me. It's always good to grief people below you because you're going to end up with a lot less of a stat game. Even when there's 2 people left, just try grief them and it'll happen like it happened here. Let's go, boys! Woo! a little quick win, and I didn't even have to kill the last 2 players. They just died in Storm. And you know why they died in Storm? Because they didn't want to edit out, because I was sitting there with an AR in front of them. An easy game, a completely flawless game. I never once looked like losing it. I was never once low HP, apart from the first kill. And that is how you play a solo victory cash cup win. It's just a shame I wasn't able to carry on this in the final game. I managed to get a quick little kill off spawn here. I landed the balcony instead of through the door, because you get quicker loot and therefore kill the guy that comes through the door. Insta dead, and we still have another game left after this. I then spend 14 minutes exactly in this bush because I pull every single zone, and this is only plausible if you do manage to get stacked beforehand, and I am stacked. The only thing I don't have is metal, which I can easily get as a refresh in endgame. This is quite a boring part of the game though, so it's sped up to 50 times. I then do the pickaxe swinging trick on this guy. He initiates it because we both want a free rotate from the bomb. We both just agree mutually not to shoot at each other and not to grief each other, because if we fight here, we're both dead. So we both want to let each other know that we're both not idiots, and this is where the mistake happened. I jump on here, and I actually, instead of like boxing off the end here, I box off right on his box, like off the end. I'm supported by a singular wall from him, I think. And then I start getting sprayed. This guy below me, bear in mind, this is a lobby where everyone is 114 points. So they all need to call here. I think if it's not someone with 27 KPR, then he does not do such a risky play like this. I got a bit unlucky that the guy I boxed over was the best player in the lobby and was a pro that hadn't qualified yet. However, there was a bit of an issue with me boxing there anyway. I put myself in a bad position. I should have dropped off the top and boxed low ground instead, but you know, we all learn things every day. With that being said though, I will see you in the next one. Watch this video on the screen or this video on the screen, because YouTube likes it if you watch more than one video on my channel. Use code JKC in a full item shop, and I'll see you in the next video.